Ravi and Shravan were classmates. They studied in the 7th class. Their houses were in the same neighborhood. Though they attended the same school, they never came to school or went back together. This was because the boys belonged to two completely different families. Ravi's father was very rich and Ravi was his only son. Petted and pampered by everyone at home, he grew up to be an arrogant boy. He had a number of helpers at his beck and call. They were his personal helpers. His clothes were washed, ironed, and put into his cupboard by them. They brought his lunch to school. The driver who dropped him and picked him up from school always had another person sitting in the front seat with him. This person would carry his school bag to the class. A helper accompanied him wherever he went. If he was playing, the person sat patiently in the school compound and watched him, yet he grumbled that he didn't have enough help, or that they were inefficient. In fact, there was always a scowl of dissatisfaction on his face. He never did well in class or on the games field. Shravan, on the other hand, belonged to a very poor family. He had 5 brothers. What little was available was shared by all of them. They had to pack their own bags, wash their own clothes, and polish their own shoes. Their mother never had enough time to do all the housework. The boys had to help with the household chores. Every Sunday, Shravan had to clean the windows and air the mattresses. Each brother had his own set of chores. They found time to do their chores between homework and schoolwork. Yet Shravan was always cheerful. He had a pleasant temperament and a smile for everyone. The whole class loved him. He was liked by the teachers also because he was truthful, studious, and intelligent. One day during recess, all the boys were playing in the field. Their class teacher was sitting inside the classroom. He could hear the boys talking. As usual, Ravi was complaining. "I couldn't get ready on time today because 2 of my helpers were on leave and the 3rd one was late. Though I have 4 helpers all to myself, I feel utterly miserable sometimes. How am I to get along with such inefficient, disloyal people? My father pays them a handsome salary, yet they stay away at the slightest excuse. Ramu didn't come to work today only because his son had fever and was in hospital. I'm sure his wife could have managed to look after the boy. He should have been there to polish my shoes and take out my school uniform. As it is, I had to ask Bhola to do Ramu's work. Bhola puts out my bathing soap and towel and mixes the hot and cold water for me. I had to do it myself today." He sulked. Then he turned to Ravi and asked, "Shravan, what do you do when your helpers run away or go on leave? When some of them are absent, do you still have enough people to help you? How do you punish the ones who stay away?" He added mockingly, knowing full well that Ravi had no helpers in the house. He wanted to make fun of Shravan in front of the others. That morning, Shravan had been able to answer all the questions the teacher asked. Ravi didn't even know where Assam was on the map of India. But Shravan was unusually intelligent. He smiled and replied, "I have no such trouble, Ravi. I have 8 permanent helpers who never leave me at all. They work for me diligently and serve me faithfully day and night." The other boys laughed. Ravi felt insulted. He became red in the face and moved away from the group. The teacher who was inside had also heard the discussion. He also laughed at Shravan's retort. But he felt that Shravan was wrong to lie even for fun. He called Shravan inside. The other boys heard the teacher calling Shravan. They decided to follow him into the class. Ravi went in too. The teacher looked at them all and said, Shravan, I heard what you said just now. Although I don't blame you for putting Ravi in his place by saying you have 8 helpers, I don't approve of lies. You should always speak the truth. What you said just now can be considered a white lie, a lie that doesn't hurt anybody. But remember, a lie is a lie. You should never lie. Now, you don't really have 8 helpers, do you? Shravan replied,
No, sir. I did not lie. I really meant it. I have 8 permanent helpers who never leave me.
The teacher stared at him in amazement. Whatever was the boy talking about? Was he lying to him too? Looking at the surprised face of the teacher, Shravan said,
Sir, I can explain why I say I have 8 permanent helpers. I have 2 legs, 2 hands, a mouth, a nose, 2 eyes, and 2 ears. These are my 8 helpers who are permanently with me. They serve me faithfully and never leave me. Sir, I have 4 brothers. My father is a clerk in the state government. His salary is modest. We live carefully, and our mother does most of the housework. We learnt the art of self-reliance very early in life. Our parents taught us to do all our work ourselves. We never depend on others. In fact, because we rely on ourselves, we find it easy to look after ourselves and even have time to help others. How right he is!
Mahidhar exclaimed.
Shravan is always the first one in class to finish his work. He finds time to help me out whenever I am stuck in geometry. Yes, he has hit the nail on the head.
Sumant added.
Shravan's desk is the neatest. He makes most of the charts for the school board and decorates the classroom board too.
The teacher also smiled. Yes, you are right. Shravan is always ready with his work on time and is the most helpful student in the school. Most of the teachers rely on him to fetch and carry for them. Shravan, the 8 helpers that you counted out are the only reliable ones. They never leave us and go away. Ravi, why don't you try to use your 8 helpers too? Then you will never be late for school. They may even turn out to be better than your present helpers. We don't know what happened, but that afternoon, when it was time to go back home, Mahidhar and Sumant saw Ravi and Shravan walking home together. Ravi had sent his car away and was carrying his own bag home.